to the negative as what we saw on the NSE All Share. Of course, we had news that the Senate has approved the board for AMCON. Tell us in terms of share price movements, what affected markets today, the fact that we had such a lackluster close.
Hi, thanks for having me. Like you said, almost close to flat on the bourse today. Surprisingly, you actually had a number of gainers capping the number of losers, but I guess the weight of the losers actually dragged the NSE down for now. For now, I mean, from the start of the week to today, you've actually seen the NSE losing about 1 percentage point from where it opened this week. Good news from the AMCON approval coming into play now. We expect that more work will be coming out from the AMCON. I think that will translate into positive sentiment on the exchange. I think we'll begin to see a bit of reversal on the exchange into the greens as we go into the week closing.
Nwabueze, we've also seen a sharp decline in central bank sales of US dollars. Give us your view on this. Does this mean that we're seeing a sufficient supply from oil companies when it comes to the forex market?
Yeah, on the back for the past couple of week or two, we've had some huge flows coming to the market. Huge flows mainly from the state-run oil company NNPC, selling close to about more than $300 million into the market, and also some tickle of oil or other majors coming into the market. I mean, from this week, we've had close to like $60 to $70 million coming into the market to augment what the central bank would offer. That, of course, has actually tempered the demand via that window. So we've seen the Naira actually gaining ground last week into this week, a bit of losing ground from today's auction, but by and by, demand has been weak at the central bank auction because of the flows of dollar liquidity that has come into the market from the oil majors.
Well, Nwabueze, I mean, looking at the fact that we've got an MPC meeting set to be held on the 22nd of November, and also keeping in mind that the Fed is meeting in the US today, a lot of talk about a second round of quantitative easing. You've got various central banks meeting. You've got Australia hiking interest rates. Of course, emerging markets basically in a world of their own when it comes to the interest rate environment. What are you expecting from the central bank?
Well, on the back of the central bank, I mean, we'll look at their basis in terms of rate movement has always been on the inflation target. Looking at the last inflation figure that had come out, actually shows that inflation actually tempered a bit by 0.1%. On the back of that, we do not really think that their statement would differ so much from the last meeting. We expect them to see signs of stability in the economy. We expect them to see positivity in the economy based on the indices, and also on the back of the fact that energy prices are actually rising. Yeah. Based fully on the QE that is expected to come from the FOMC. On the back of that, we expect that would translate into positive sentiments for the MPC members, and as such, we do not think that any major shift from what has happened in the last meeting would actually come at this time.
Just looking at the Euro bond, I mean, everyone is talking about that at this point in time. Of course, we had S&P keeping Nigeria's rating on hold, and of course, putting it out on a stable long-term outlook. On the other end, you've got Fitch, which downgraded Nigeria's credit rating. Your view on this and what impact it could have on the currency market going forward? I was speaking to Eleni Giokos a little earlier, and he was saying that he suspects that the Euro bond is going to be oversubscribed. So perhaps that's great news in terms of appetite for Nigeria's assets.
Well, I'll run on the back of that and say yes. I think generally on the overall view, I think it's a good time coming to the market at this time. I think you're going to get a lot of some good appetite for the Nigerian Euro bond. I think it's going to get some good acceptance in the market. I think on the whole thing, we're actually going to see some very good outcome on this bond issuance. And the good thing about it, on the back of it, we expect some more flows to actually come out on the back of this auction.
Nwabueze, just very quickly, Nigerian Naira against the US dollar this week. Where do you peg the Naira dollar crosses?
Well, I think on the Naira dollar, you actually see a bit of weakening coming into the market for the remainder of this week, into next week. But overall theme, I would say, would actually continue to be on a stable thing, on a stable level.
Fantastic.
Give or take plus or minus 20 cable.